Before we begin, sponsor mentions from some of our great supporters. Scratch Labs, fuel that works, folks. Plain and simple. Jackson is the biggest follower of their high-carb mix. Am I wrong?
Mm-mm.
Paul is Captain Pineapple.
Oh, I love it.
And I am the guy who accidentally puts recovery powder in his ride bottles.
Did you really?
I did. The ride with Jackson.
Yes.
I was like, what? Although it is delicious, don't be a pat. Do not be me. Save the recovery for the post-ride and label your jars if you use them to store your scratch. Please use the link at Pack Filler. Great freaking stuff. And they have that everyday hydration is back. It's a new formula. It is back. Be sure and check it out.
Oh, really?
I bought a bag last year and then it disappeared. But I think they have improved the formula and it is back. Wahoo Fitness. Did you see the update, by the way, from Wahoo? Coming to a device on your handlebars soon if you bought the right one. That is GoPro control, music control, dark mode, and so much more from the finest cycling computers out there. If you aren't a proper Wahoogan, there is no better time to jump on board. Check out all there is to offer through, of course, our website link. Finally, Cycle Systems Online. Ever dream of being a top-level mechanic? Do you? Or even, I don't know, flushing your brake pads? Not brake pads, brake lines. Wish there was a way to learn all there is to know about bikes in the comfort of your own home at your own pace. Well, Cycle Systems has made all of your wrench dreams come true. From the basics to the brutal. You can check out sample courses today with literal no. I started off so well. It was just fun. It was just a honey river coming out of my mouth, and then all of a sudden I got to this ad. You can check out sample courses today with little to no commitment. Trust me, you can fix it. Use our link. I just keep going too fast, I think. That's my problem. That was not me. I want everybody in the world to know that sound came from the creepy bearded guy at the end of the bar.
Oh, that's great.
How I Met Your Mother. What? The creepy bearded guy at the end of the bar. I'll take pity on him. He's so adorable.
He is.
Oh, jeez. It is truly the most wonderful time of the year. Sure, it is likely raining where you are. The weather is still a bit nippy, and the train are not quite yet ready to be put away. But Holy Week starts on Sunday. Well, cycling's Holy Week, that is. Actually, Holy Week started last week. Yeah. Palm Sunday. Big Catholic thing. Welcome to the Pack Filler Cycling Podcast. We are live on YouTube and packfiller.com from the Rim Break Bar in Spokane, Washington, a city who just recently benefited from global warming. I think that's from last week, and I didn't delete it. But no, we're not today. It's raining, and it's shitty, and it's cold. I'm Pat Bulger, and let's see who's here with tonight's prologue question. Gentlemen, what does Easter mean to you in terms of traditions, stories, or plans? Like, what are your thoughts? Do you celebrate? Do you bother? Are you a heretic? Are you a ham eater? Or any of that kind of stuff? First off, he's probably, and I'm following your introductions with what kind of candy I figure you would be if you were an Easter person.
Oh, wow.
All right. So first off, he's probably a chocolate Easter bunny kind of guy, but it would have to be a Belgian chocolate, Mr. Paulman. Am I right?
Yeah, nailed it.
One down.
Nice.
First of all, how are you, man?
Good.
And second of all, what's your thoughts on Easter?
When I was younger, it was kind of like family gathering stuff. It always seemed to be, like, weather-wise, a little windy, but... And then I hated going to church.
Yeah.
Oh, I hated it. Yeah. Hated it. So, but nowadays it's not a big thing.
I picked up me drinking.
That's how quiet you are.
Yeah, if that thing is cranked.
Yeah.
When you're not here, we can hear an echo sometimes.
From Coeur d'Alene. We can hear the racism in North Idaho.
Yeah. Sorry, Utah.
Back to Easter. Go, Paul. Yeah. So you didn't like going to church?
Yeah, no, I hated that part as a kid. And Easter egg hunts, like, why am I looking for for boiled eggs when I don't like them anyway.
Yeah.
You know, and then the night before, your fingers are still dyed. And, you know, that type of thing.
You and I are still old enough that we remember actually hunting for eggs, not
Yeah.
plastic ones with like money in them and shit.
Money. They got money.
Yeah.
Oh,
money in them.
$20 golden eggs.
Yeah.
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 But nowadays, now my daughter's going to be putting on a dinner and invited me over. So my wife's working, so I'll just go over there. I don't know.
Okay. Just wondering.
Probably.
Next off, he's probably, I'm guessing, a high-end jelly bean kind of guy. I just see you as, no?
Oh, wow.
Damn.
You really missed the ball.
Damn.
Come on, Peeps.
Oh, I was going to say David's into Peeps.
Oh, absolutely not. Yeah.
Oh,
I'm
man,
You're a
I
Peeps
will
guy?
crush Peeps.
I am.
I got the wrong brother.
Marshmallows for days. I will make myself sick off marshmallows. I will eat
Marshmallows
easily. I'm
are
the one.
so nasty.
No, s'more sub. That's my style. Whole graham cracker, 2 jumbo marshmallows, a whole bar of Hershey's chocolate, and a whole nother
That's not
graham
Easter.
cracker.
That's not
Repeat
Easter.
times 3.
Repeat times 3.
But that's not Easter.
But you can get a marshmallow for Easter.
That's so gross.
Don't roast those. It's molten lava.
I've never had
Made
a
the
peep.
mistake.
I've never had one.
When I was a kid.
55 years, I've never had a peep.
What? The preservatives in that thing will keep you alive for at least another 100 years.
I don't want to live that long.
Fact.
In fact.
I don't want to live in that world.
Those things were probably made like in the 70s still. Like they have an abundance of them and they're still soft when you open up the wrapper.
So gross. So
Okay,
gross.
yeah.
I was going to say he's probably into Peeps, but are you a high-end jelly bean kind of guy, David? Did I get the brothers wrong? What's your choice? What's your Easter candy?
I would eat some high-end jelly beans. That sounds better than Peeps. It's not
Okay.
Peeps. I like chocolate, though.
Good.
Yeah, chocolate.
Good.
Yeah.
What's your Easter traditions? We didn't get Sam's Easter
Yeah,
traditions.
no. I mean, I'm not really.
Yeah.
Whatever. It's fine.
Really?
I'm not. Yeah, I would never give up like my morning, right, to go do like. 'Cause usually the weather's changing. Like I want to go ride my bike.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I'll do whatever if like people want to do
No,
like an
come
Easter
on
dinner.
over for Easter dinner. Okay.
I'll do an Easter dinner because I probably burned the calories throughout the day.
What's the Easter dinner at the Waples households?
Tofurkey. You know, just a giant hock of
I just
tofurkey.
envision us just like rabbits, just like eating just a block of cabbage.
Roasted carrots.
You don't have actual chairs at your table. You just sit cross-legged style. You just
In the garden.
Yeah.
Yeah. We just pull up weeds one at a time.
Hey man, let's all just get together and thank Mother Earth for everything she's given us.
That's pretty
And
much.
put in the whale sounds.
Don't eat too much. We don't want to take.
Don't take too much from Mother
Oh, I
Earth.
love this track.
Don't take too much from the bunnies.
Yeah.
It's Easter.
Okay. Oh God. Jackson, he's definitely a Skittles guy, Mr. Jackson Bulger, unless you've changed.
You know, I'm a connoisseur of all of the candy type.
You have always been a sweet tooth.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I have, yeah. And speaking of sweet tooth, I made the scratch cookies the other day.
Oh.
I put chocolate chips in them. Super good.
Right?
Yeah. My wife and I have been a little bit sad that it's a limited edition make.
Yeah.
Bummer.
Yeah.
That's a bummer.
Yeah.
They're really good.
Easter, though, really, I'm going to be honest, I just get super excited I get to eat Cadbury eggs.
Nice.
Oh.
you know?
So that, okay.
What
But
are those again? That's what you make.
No.
no, so the Cadbury eggs, there are multiple iterations. So there are the fully solid candy coated eggs, the little mini ones, and then there are also the big Cadbury
ones.
eggs that have like the filling in them,
But-
that you can't find in anything else in this world. It's probably, I mean, it is something that will also keep you alive for an
Is
extra
it like a
100 years.
It looks like an
marshmallowy
egg.
kind
No,
of a
it's a
No,
liquid
cream.
marshmallow?
it's like a cream. It's unbelievable.
Dude, another candy I've never had.
That's
try one.
redonkulous. I would bathe in that shit, dude. I love it.
I've got a short little story about that. This is an
They're
ongoing
gross,
thing.
man. It looks like a raw egg in
Yeah.
the center.
Well, you until you eat it, and it's not gross.
So I'm not a big fan of them, but the story is, and even to this day, and I think it's been going on a tradition with my daughter and I. We were at my sister's Easter, and there was all these jelly bellies and everything out, and the only thing I saw was Cadbury egg. Well, at least it's chocolate.
Mm-hmm.
And my daughter was, well, it had to be 8 years ago because it's when she was pregnant with our grandson.
Okay.
And she goes, hey, Dad, I like Cadbury eggs. And I unwrapped it and I went, and I ate it. From this day, she always like fills my
Never
pockets
forgetting.
around
Oh.
Easter. It's full of Cadbury eggs. She sent me a box of Cadbury eggs.
Bring
And
it
so,
in.
well, I usually ended up spreading it out and giving it to people that like it. I'm not a big fan of them, but it's just run. So on our grandson's 2-year-old birthday, we had the Scoop does ice cream.
Yeah.
And I went and I said, you got to make Cadbury egg. I brought the Cadbury eggs that she sent me. And you make an ice cream out of it, but you cannot serve my daughter. She never gets any of my Cadbury eggs. No matter how many I get, I make sure she never gets any.
That's so funny.
And it goes on to this day. In fact, when was it? 2 days ago, we saw her, and I felt something go in my pocket. And it was a Cadbury egg.
Wow.
Yeah, 8 years.
That's kind of cute.
That is, yeah.
You know,
That's fun.
abusive sort of way.
Yeah.
Yeah, in a haha, that's so
Yeah.
sad kind of way.
Yeah.
It might be generating some therapy bills.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Me, I am a Starburst jelly bean guy. Those Starburst jelly beans are dangerous.
Huh, I don't think I've had that.
Oh, it's the flavors of Starburst, but
Yeah.
in classic jelly
He's
beans.
30. How old are you, Sam?
Dude.
Hey, I've never had a Cadbury
I know.
egg.
And I was
Nor a
also
peep.
appalled at that.
Nor a peep.
And I was equally appalled
Yeah.
at that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Peep is.
Eh.
It is
How
Well, so-
old are you? Well, actually, you probably
had
have
that.
So
one
it's only
now.
cool. It's only shocking if it's something you like. Is that what you're saying?
Oh, no, I like all of it.
No, Jackson. I understand.
Yeah.
I used to be way into the idea that a 6-foot rabbit would come into my room and leave an Easter. Did your parents ever leave the Easter basket in your room while you were sleeping?
No.
No.
Oh, see, my parents did that.
It was out
Yes,
on the table.
your parents did that. Shut up.
I know.
That's intrusive.
Yeah. No, they would do it, and I'd wake up in the morning thinking a 6-foot rabbit came into the house, and I wasn't afraid.
That feels unsafe.
But now we're going to be gone this weekend, and feel free to rob my house. No, we're going to be gone, and I looked at my wife and I said, "Can we have ham?" Because I don't know why I still want a ham on Easter Sunday, even though it's super salty, and I'm riding for like 4 hours the next day, and I'm going to be
That's
just
great.
a wreck. And Michelle makes what she calls the big butt potato salad, which is just classic potato salad with potatoes, eggs, fucking mayo,
Oh, yeah.
onion,
Load it.
celery, a little squirt of mustard. You just eat it and just go. Sorry,
Love
everybody who's listening in their headphones, because it's just so gross, but it's so good. Before we get to tonight's episode on our past weeks, I need to mention that this is our Flanders Roubaix double whammy. There will not be a show next week, as I'm going to be on a training camp working on my zone 2 to 3, as you guys recommended, and sprinting my way to hopefully a better power to weight ratio.
And tacos?
Yeah. I'm Central Washington, man. There's some great tacos in Central Washington. So that's what I'm going to do. But for tonight, we must catch up. How has everybody been in their cycling lives as we are already 16 minutes in? How'd everybody's weeks go?
Excellent.
You what?
What?
Really?
What about, how is it not
No,
excellent?
I'm going to be jealous.
Oh, I mean, I rode outside like every time I could. I think I took 2 days off from riding outside, and yesterday I rode inside for the first time.
What?
Rode inside for the first time in like a week and a half. It's been great. I love it. Yeah, I feeling great, feeling happy about it. So
Okay.
excellent is the word to describe it.
No.
Yeah, I definitely like this last week, just knowing that like that we were going to kind of have a bad spell of weather there. I was like, I just didn't get caught up in the I need to go ride. We did a mountain bike ride, I did another ride last week out on the road, but other than that, strength training and just getting ready for next week. Kind of almost a rest week from my last block.
Okay.
Yeah.
Terrible.
It's terrible. It's terrible.
Mine was terrible. Saturday, I wanted to go for a ride, but my mom had some electrical problems. Drove out there, and it's a 30-minute drive, and went downstairs and turned the breaker on, and worked. So there was my ride. So I thought, while I'm here,
I was going to make a joke, but I didn't want to, and that was basically the joke I was going to make.
that's what it was. And then she's going to be 91 next month.
Yeah.
Wow.
So, so I thought, this is a good time to talk to her and catch up.
Oh, wow.
And
Yeah.
just the most boring conversation. She didn't know who Eddie Merckx was.
What?
I mean, what do we have to talk about?
Yeah, what is there to
Rim
talk
brakes?
about?
Does she
Yeah,
have an
and-
opinion
and-
on
and
disc
then I-
brakes
Yeah.
or tubeless tires?
Yeah, she's like nowhere on this. So what do I have to talk to her about?
Mom, I'm
Wow.
sending
How's
you
the
the
weather?
files. Read the goddamn homework,
Well,
Mom,
and-
or I'm
and
not coming over.
And I pulled up and I said, who your picks for Roubaix? And
Yeah.
she's like,
She said, I don't
Yeah.
know.
She's not even
Like,
hookless
what's
rims.
Roubaix?
yeah,
Yeah.
Roubaix.
Yeah.
What is it?
Hookless
Wow.
rims. She's
Yeah, hookless. What do you think?
That
Because of
is-
the molds, they're saving money on the molds.
Yeah,
Is that it?
yeah.
I
So
think
how are
that's
you
it.
feeling about the race in 2 weeks?
We're talking about this
Okay, sorry.
in the show. Don't
Yeah.
jump the
Oh,
shark.
sorry.
So anyway, and then today was my RDO, and I wanted to ride, but my sister's leaving town, who does the majority of the taking care of my mom.
Oh,
It's bestowed on me, and I have to take over on the 30th.
gotcha.
So then, yeah.
Okay.
So I didn't get to ride today. Sunday I did after Gentilligum.
Yeah.
I hopped on Ruby for the last time.
Oh my God!
Last time.
Yeah, for the last time until
Fall.
fall, late winter, early winter, and did the Fields of Flanders. So I went over the Kentelberg, everything. I did
you
that
know
one.
what? While I was watching, I've been watching some of these races. I'm actually to the point now where I'm like going, holy shit, I recognize that.
Yeah,
And I said to my wife while we were watching the race, and I got a problem with flow bikes again, but I'm watching the race. I'm going, honey, I rode that ride. I've been on that ride. I've ridden that road. And
Yeah.
she's like, what? I'm like, well, in the other room online. She just, again, I think if she rolls her eyes anymore, they're going to fall out of her face.
Mhm.
Yeah, because
She does like the slow clap.
yeah, it's like, well done, huh?
yeah, right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you're a true hero.
Yeah, I climbed off of it, went to my account, canceled until
Did you?
I'm done.
Nice.
Packed it up after I took a shower.
Oh, are you
took it down to
monthly?
storage? Yeah.
Oh, I paid
Oh,
for
I
the
think
year.
mine's done at the end of this month.
I paid for the year.
Mm-hmm.
Stupid. David, how's your cycling life?
It was fine. I did more mountain biking and gravel stuff last week and this week. Didn't have a lot of expectations. The weather really slapped me. I feel like it just
Yeah.
slapped me in the face. I'm like, oh, it's so nice.
Yeah.
And then bam, rain, cold, wind.
Yeah.
So. I don't know.
Yeah, and that's man, we
Our
had
weather
a great
went-
mountain bike ride. Like that is, it was just a refresh onto why
Trails are good?
Trails are good.
trails are good.
Gravel's good.
Gravel's good.
Yeah.
Hero dirt.
I got some strength in. I got one really good ride in with Jackson on Friday because the weather was still nice. Oh my gosh, it was, and that was. I don't know how I'm doing. Is the problem? I mean, Jackson dropped me on the dirt.
Oh, you're gonna get slapped.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thanks, Sam.
I thought you wanted to know how you're doing.
No, I'm just gonna. You know what? I almost should have a
I
second.
also said that to Jackson the other weekend, and
Yeah.
he was
Kicked
right
your
there
ass.
the whole time.
I should
so.
have a second mic on the floor for when I need to get into the fetal position.
Continue the show.
Rock back and forth.
Make sure you get a camera mounted
So
down
anyway-
there too. Yeah.
Because I'm sure Jackson's being nice to his dad, and and there were times that I felt I was kind of going, we were side by side, and I can't even look him in the eye right now, because and we were going at a pretty good tempo, I thought at times, but I have a feeling it wasn't, and so I don't know. It's
Was he
driving
in
me
the small
paranoid.
ring while you were in the big
And
ring?
he looks over. He's like, "Hey, you should just draft.
Yeah.
We should
Nah,
we should work on some tempo." And I'll
What was
just sit
that,
up
Dad?
front."
I was freewheeling. I
Yeah.
couldn't hear you over.
Nah, he was hands off the bars, mixing himself a martini.
Yeah. Yeah.
This is why. Don't you have power?
Yeah.
Like, then you don't have to wonder what. Like, you just look.
What? Those don't mean anything.
You number guys.
Because it's power to weight. It's power to weight.
That's fair.
When you're me, 600 watts is getting out of bed in the morning.
That's just clipping in.
Yeah. Stop sign. Grabbing the brakes. 350 watts. How do you guys feel in terms of preparedness? Quick response.
Ripe and ready to go.
Oh, okay. That's
Yeah,
the
I'm
guy who-
excited.
Okay. Anybody else?
Paul, I want to hear Paul's.
If you smell something, I shit my pants.
He's so true. Like he's so like
Self-deprecating.
serious too.
Yeah.
Though he's
No,
like,
it's not.
oh no, I'm horrified.
Yeah, I am.
$50.
It's bad.
$50.
And-
says
and I'll
he
miss the
top
first-
fives the first Twilight series.
Well, I won't be able to do the first one because
Oh.
that is Thursday. Our granddaughter's we haven't seen for 3 weeks, and she's coming back.
Neither will I, so that's good. I'm going to be 2 days off
you
of,
guys doing
of a
bees?
heart surgery.
Are you guys doing bees or A's?
No comment.
Okay, to be
Yep.
determined.
Yep.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yep. I did finish the 10,000 squat challenge.
Nice.
I do want to say
That's
I
insane.
did 600 squats in one day
It shows.
at the final challenge. I'm swole, bro.
Yeah, it shows.
It shows, and you can't even see me from the waist down.
No, I can.
Yeah,
Your whole ass has a whole new zip code.
I'm almost a Wayple.
Yeah. You have to go by GMT instead of PST for time.
That took me a minute. I'm like, my initials are GMT.
Oh no.
Good mountain trunk.
We reached for that one.
So, how many of you guys are going to continue with strength training throughout the year? Anybody? Sam raises his hand in an audio.
I
podcast.
will.
You will.
Mm-hmm.
How many times?
2 or 3 times a week.
A week?
Probably more like
year
2.
round.
Yeah.
Okay, Sam.
I'll commit to 2.
Okay, yeah. Anybody else? None of you guys.
Well, I haven't even started yet.
Okay, so why start?
Like,
yeah.
I'm kind of with Paul here. You know, I told you guys I got some weights. I used them for like 4 weeks. I've hit a dry spell. They don't call them anymore.
They don't call you anymore.
Yeah, I'm like,
your
"Yeah,
your
this
weight
sucks."
said your weight set ghosted you.
But also, it's like, I mean, you're doing so many house projects right now. And it's like,
But how bad is it that that's what we classify as an upper body workout? Like
Yeah.
what?
Yeah,
dude,
Like,
I don't know.
I'm doing this. I'm doing house.
When you're
projects.
hanging drywall and stuff.
yeah, it's hard
that's a
work.
lot.
But
Yeah, I have to continue.
Yeah.
I always find I do it really well in fall, winter, and early spring, and then I stop, and you can just watch some of my power numbers drop.
As not being your therapist, I will say you definitely need to continue doing
Oh yeah, absolutely, yeah. The shoulders,
The shoulders,
strengthening
yeah.
stuff, and things like
It's.
that.
I will say it's crazy how big of a difference it does make.
Yeah.
Because like over the past week and a half, like typically, I remember David, you came up and you were like, "How you doing?" And I was like, "You know, my ass is really sore because sitting on the bike for 3 hours sucks." But
Yeah.
but like upper body, I was not sore at all, and that's the first time. That's weird. So it's a game changer.
Is anybody going to hit the trainer anymore? When does the trainer go away? Or are you going to keep it up during the summer? Jackson, you shook your head.
It never goes away. If I don't have time to go outside, I will go on the trainer.
In July.
Yeah. If I don't have the time, I will get the training in because I've had so many years now
Yeah.
where the form's dropped off because I've just been like, I got to go outside and it's not the same, level that I need.
Okay.
no more trainer.
No more?
Me. Yeah,
Yours is off.
yeah. I don't know.
Probably not for me.
Paul DeSquit Ruby.
Mm-hmm. I even packed it up and put it down in our storage.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
Spat on it while you closed the door.
Yep. Yep. Took the cogs
Screw
off
you.
of it. You don't
Yeah.
even deserve the cogs.
You don't
to hang
even-
on that
yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
Those cogs would just be poisoned, just weak and squishy.
Totally alone.
Yeah. They would,
Yeah. Close the door. Trainer's just like going, hello?
Yeah.
Hello?
Forget it.
Anybody?
Yeah.
No. You've been a bad.
I do think there's a like if you were dedicated, I do think there's a good place for indoor training year round, but
Yeah.
it just doesn't bring me enough joy.
I think I'm going to keep mine. It always stays out because I have a dedicated space for it. So I'll leave it there. I'll unplug it, but I, can always reach over and plug it back in. But with making an old man grunt before I do, like while I bend over. Does anybody race into fitness anymore? Is that just a thing of the past? I remember, Paul, we can talk about that. The actual ability to have enough events to actually get bike races and use them to race into fitness. But here we are, people who won't travel for more than, we need at least 2 races to travel or something to, see or spectate. Making a weekend out of it, I don't. Is racing to fitness a thing anymore?
I mean, that's basically why I went to Kennewick,
Yeah,
was to just get my butt kicked.
Yeah, it's
So-
a Freda for me.
And it worked.
Yeah,
mission accomplished.
I feel pretty good right now for where we're at.
Okay. Nobody else?
No,
Yeah.
it's going to be Afraida for me. And
Yep.
then
Yeah.
the first several SCRs will definitely just be like doing attacks and trying to get race fitness because, I care more
Tactic
about.
window out the window.
Yeah.
Hey,
I
Sam's
care.
going to attack.
Yeah.
What?
I mean, I don't know. I like without sounding like a total ass here. Like I am so marked in the local field. Like if I go off the front,
You're that cool.
no. But for some reason, I'm not even good.
Hey,
and people are marking
Sam
me.
Waples.
No, it's like
He's
they
a
know
rock
me and they're like,
star.
I'm gonna follow Sam. I know him, and it's like,
Do you ever
don't follow me. This isn't a good move to go in.
Do you ever think it's I'm going to follow Sam because he always goes to the front and pulls hard?
No, because I'll
you think? You sure about that?
I mean, you remember
They always counter me, and then they drop me after about an hour before the race.
It's almost like they knew what I was going to do before I go.
No, I've had people
Yeah, I told them.
come up to me at the end of the race and be like, "Yeah, no, I was just my whole plan was just marking." I'm like, "Yeah, that was a bad plan, huh?"
Yeah, how'd that work?
How did that work? Like,
You remember last year? Those,
Then they're like, oh, by the way, I got to go to the podium presentation.
Yeah.
you remember those two like triathletes
Yeah.
that showed up last year? Nobody knew who they were, and they would just mark like you or whoever else, and then they let them go, and they like completely were gone.
yep.
These people that we just didn't know, but they were like very clearly fast.
Like when I wasn't there, then they just put in one massive attack and blew the doors off everybody.
Anyways,
No, it's Anyway, back to my point. The early season is for like kind of getting those efforts in, and like I'm Tour de Bloom. That's my thing.
You're
race to fitness, or you think
Drink.
you're gonna do well?
Oh, I don't have no dreams of grandeur that I'm gonna do well, but that is my A race. So like all the races leading up to that are like preparation.
so that's the big dog.
That
That's
is the
one.
race,
Okay.
right? And then
Okay.
RC3 and
Yeah. All right. Silence in the group means I can go to our headlines. From the past week, brought to us in part by Muck Off, featuring cleaning materials, tools, and tubeless technology, unrivaled in performance. Use the link, please. In professional cycling, the past week has provided us with a shit ton of intrigue, if you have been paying attention. Hey, David. First off, the race known as Little Flanders, a.k.a. Gent-Wevelgem, happened this past weekend. My wife makes up names for all the races. When I tell her, she says, oh, what's the race on this weekend? I said, Gent-Wevelgem. She says, Get Bubblegum. So this is Get Bubblegum. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And Primoz Roglic, she calls Remos Primos. Mm. Yeah. No, Roglic, or something like that. I gotta have to get her down there. But Get Bubblegum happened this past weekend with anything other than a sprinter's paradise taking place. Final came down to two riders, with a rarity these days, with dominating solo performances that have been happening. In the form of Mathieu van der Poel and Mads Pedersen gunning it out over the climbs to a sprinting drag race, providing Pedersen with his second Ghent victory. So who watched it? David won.
No way.
Little
Sweet.
boys growing up.
David even knows some facts about Mads Pedersen.
Wait, what?
I do. Yeah, why are we talking about his height?
Yeah, his weight.
So then
Yeah.
I went down a
David.
rabbit hole.
Yeah, we were watching the sprint. I'm like, God, they are big. And,
Yeah.
and I was like,
But
we
they're
looked it up.
not.
Matt's not
No.
super tall, I don't think.
The conclusion for the elf on the shelf from our discussion was that I would be big in the tour. Like,
Yeah.
physically.
Yeah.
Not successfully. Physically.
Yeah.
Because even the big guys are like 5'10", 5'11".
Yeah, like how tall do you think Mathieu is?
Matthew?
He's 6'1".
Yeah.
No.
He was 6'0".
Yeah.
And Mads
6
was 5'10".
Yeah.
Wout is 6'3", are in there.
Well, he's big.
Yeah, he's
Tom-
big.
Bonin was
Tom
6'4".
Bonin, yep, and Bradley Wiggins, and there were some
So
tall guys, but like
your earlier premise was completely bullshit, is what you said. They're
no,
all
like
small.
look at
and then
Mads,
we go
though,
like,
you
well,
look at Mads
this
and you're
this
like,
rider, this
Mads
rider.
is huge, like
Yeah.
he's thick, and then it's like he's 5'10" and
He's
55.
70
And,
kilos,
you know,
which
my-
is about 100.
155.
No, that's 100, about 160, 100, around 160 pounds,
And, you know,
158.
My all-time fave, Sagan, he was like 5'10". He's big. You look at him, he's a big dude. But really, he's just wide.
Yeah. Was the course change, and Paul might be able to comment on this because you tend to know these stats. This was a different Gent Wevelgem than I remember in years. It seemed like there were gravel sections. There were more. The climbs seemed to come later in the race, which is not a normal thing for Gent Wevelgem. It usually seemed kind of like the climbs happen, and then there's more of a group effort. Yeah, I'm thinking of Biniam Gourmet winning and things like that. Was this year that different?
Not in the last couple of years. The Ploeg Streets, which those are the gravel sections.
Yeah.
They've kind of turned this into the memorial of World War I.
Yeah.
So in the old days, the Camelberg is always the big one. They had a couple of hills, up until the last 30.
I've ridden that.
Yeah.
On Ruby.
Ruby.
Yeah.
So yeah, it really does kind of sit the way they started. It used to be start in Ghent, but it starts and on the Minigate and stuff. So that it has altered a little bit, but pretty much where a sprinter or a power guy could get away. But it was windy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Windy.
I watched it down here while I was assembling a 3D printer, and the one thing was constant was the during in every microphone, and it was bad. It was a beautiful race. It was fun to. Well, I listened to it, but I bounced back into here and stuff like that. It was a great one. Has Lidl Trek found the solution to competing against Mathieu van der Poel?
Not on Friday, they didn't.
No, they had a bad Friday.
Yeah.
E3 is.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's.
But I mean, that's what did they correct and.
I think so. I think also Van der Poel he burned a lot of matches.
Yeah.
Doing that. He did look a little weak in my opinion on weak for him.
Yeah.
On Sunday, and I'm sure he felt that. I mean, what was it on E3 he took off with how many K?
It was like 60 or 50,
Yeah,
wasn't
50 and maybe 50K. But
I think that Lidl Trek has really found their triple threat in terms of the classic season. Who would have thought that Jonathan Milan is what he is?
Yeah.
Like I knew he was a powerful sprinter, winning the Ciclamino jersey last year in the Giro, but I was not expecting to see him at the front of races, like pushing Mathieu van der Poel, and I was happy to see it. And I also listened to another podcast with Cosmo Catalano from How the Races Went, and it was really interesting to hear how having him was so interesting, because when Mads and Mathieu went off the front together, neither of them made the decision, oh, my sprinter's behind, I don't have to pull. Because realistically, Jasper Philipsen was back there too. So Van der Poel could have just been like, I'm not pulling. Either you continue to pull me around, or my sprinter's going to catch us and probably win. But then to think about that, Jonathan Milan is also in that group as well, who's I'll put in a lot of effort.
Was in there for a while too.
Yeah, but unfortunately flatted on the Ploeg Streets. It was. I think that they are kind of using the tactic of what Jumbo Visma did, or now Visma Lease Bike with Tadej Pogačar. It's just when you have that one unbeatable character, you got to use the team.
Yeah,
and I was happy to see somebody else besides Mathieu win.
And what a team it's become. I mean, the women had Lorena
Wiebes.
Wiebes has been doing really well. She just got barely nipped out by Elisa Balsamo. No.
Yeah.
Elisa Balsamo
Balsamo
got beaten by Wiebes.
Yeah.
And Wiebes is SD
SD
Works.
Works.
Yeah. So, we're hearing a lot of that name. But that was just showing that Lidl Trek is turning into something a little bit more powerful. And if you look at the women's roster for the upcoming classics, Lidl Trek's got a really good lineup. It's looking pretty good. So that could be something else. Also, elsewhere on the continent, Tadej Pogačar dominated the Volta Catalunya, winning 4 stages and crushing just about anybody in his wake. The final stage, a sprint stage, basically, with a pretty nice little climb on that lap. Still won it. Thoughts on Tadej's quest to win everything? Is this sustainable? This dude is tackling 2 Grand Tours and a multitude of major classics.
Well, let's think about it. What happened last year, right?
Yeah.
So, Jonas Vingegaard goes to the Tour, wins the Tour by 3 minutes. Jonas Vingegaard goes to the Vuelta, gets second, right?
Yeah.
Second or third? I think it was third, right? Second. Mm-hmm. So realistically, it's something that a Grand Tour rider can do. And we see Pogacar taking a much different route this year in terms of skipping a lot of these classics. He's not doing Flanders.
Yeah.
He's not doing Roubaix, which I think next year he probably will. But I think he's going to go to the Giro. Looking at the Giro roster, he's probably going to kick the living shit out of everybody else there, if we're really thinking about it. And then he goes to a Tour, which already have ridden a Grand Tour, got it in the legs, got the experience, and he's probably going to have an amazing team go with him. So I'm really interested to see how he handles this year. Jonas Vingegaard also this year is destroying every single 1 week stage race that he's racing in as well. So they're kind of going head to head in the exact same approach.
But they're keeping them apart from each other.
They are.
It's interesting.
Yeah. I think right now, Tade might be able to take him on a 1 week stage race. I'm really interested to see a 3 week though when it comes to both of them.
Yeah, I think that like Jonas, by the time you get to the Tour, he peaks so well just for that he's good for the Tour. But I would agree, he's not ready early season.
Yeah.
I think it'll be interesting just because Visma Lisa Bike won't have Wout. They lost Nathan Van Hooydonk.
Yeah.
So on the flats and all that, I don't know if the strength of the team is going to be there for them as much as that's what worked to their advantage
Even
against
on the climbs
Tade.
with Wout.
Yeah. I mean, they'll still have. You're right. Even in the climbs, but so I think it'll be interesting on that. They'll have to approach it not like they did the last couple of years.
Yeah.
They'll have to have a different strategy. So
And the signing of Pavel Sivakov to UAE, I think, is going to be a large catalyst in these Grand Tours this year.
David, I don't want to leave you out, man. You watched a bike race this weekend, and I don't mean this in a condescending way. You're a busy dude. You're a busy dude, and you got all this kind of stuff going on. What did Davey take away? What did Tornado Dave
There it is.
take away from this weekend? I mean, I'm busting your balls, but I'm not busting your balls when I'm asking you about what you take away.
It's really nice to watch bike racing when the opportunity presents itself. I was surprised to see Mads beat Mathieu van der Poel in the end, but I mean, I thought it was,
Especially the lead out to it.
Yeah, he couldn't even come around him in the end.
Yeah.
But yeah, he put in more work throughout it. I don't have thoughts on the other races yet.
How much did you watch?
There's
How
the
much did
final
it?
5K or something like that.
Oh, well, okay.
I was watching it from. I found this YouTube channel.
yeah, that plays it.
No audio.
Yeah,
So
or you
you're
get it in
highlighted.
Dutch.
You're
sometimes.
just highlighting.
Yeah.
this. Okay.
No. It's
No,
not
it's
highlights.
live.
It's live.
I know, but you're basically watching 5K.
Oh no, I watched from 50K.
You can watch the whole thing.
You can watch the whole thing.
It's
I just when I was over
Eurosport
at his
feed.
house.
I'm a
Really?
highlighter.
Yeah,
You're a highlighter.
but there's just no commentary. It's interesting.
It was weird.
It was weird.
The
It's-
sprint's happening, and you're like, could somebody please yell?
Like, what's going on? Yeah, I know. Can somebody yell at me right now?
Yeah.
I've had an ongoing battle with Flow Bikes, and I appreciate everything they do. I just want to get that out of the way first. Morning of Gent-Wevelgem, I come downstairs. I know I can rewind and watch it. I don't get up like Paul at the crack of dawn. I get up, I come downstairs, I turn on Flow Bikes, everything's ready to go. I hit play, and it's the fucking podium. In the logo, before I even hit select, it's showing live footage in the logo of the three guys standing on the podium.
That is maddening. How much do you pay for that?
I don't want to talk about that.
That is.
I just do want to
insane.
talk about that at the top of my lungs. I'm going to push my mic away. I went, fuck you! I was so mad because I don't know what to do with any more Flow Bike races. And by the way, when I shut it off and I waited again, because you got to wait for everything for their coverage to be over, and then it takes about another hour for it to be available on replay. Okay, that's what they do. HBO, no, it says start from beginning, and you're like, sure. You select it. It's just a picture. Okay, you hit select from beginning on Max, but this. They think they're being cool and hip and up to speed, by showing us this is what's going on right now. Jump on in. You're like, fuck you. That's the podium. And I just, and when I logged in, I think there was an hour later, that's my point. An hour later, there was a headline on the site that said Pedersen wins Ghent-Wevelgem before you even get to the watch button. Who's in charge at this website? Because I want to kick them in the balls. If they have balls.
That's so interesting. I had the polar opposite experience.
Of course
I
you
woke
did.
up at like 9 something.
This is my Charlie Brown fucking life.
I woke up at like, I'd say 8:30 or 9, and I just...
That's when I got up.
Well, I just clicked down, hit the replay, had no issues. I will say, I think that their developers could work a little bit better on their app. It's kind of... It sometimes
bizarre.
it shits the bed a little bit.
Clumsy.
Yeah, it's clumsy. That's a great way to describe it. But I didn't have that. I will also say, I wonder if that's something to like get people like to know, oh, this is live. You just hit the most unfortunate timing. Like, of course they're showing the podium at the exact time that, like, that's just such bad timing. I don't know
Mads
if
is holding the trophy above his fucking head.
Yeah.
And I just looked at my wife, and my wife's sitting there on the couch looking at her iPad. Just doesn't give a shit. Just like, I start
Pat,
losing
calm
I start
down.
losing my shit again. And she's like going, "Okay, what day is it?" Any day that ends in a Y, Pat loses his shit. But I don't ask for much, but I do ask. I know that you want to get people excited about it. That it's a live feed. Put the word "live" up there. Mm-hmm. It's just so stupid.
Well, now you know. Go down to replays. Just scroll quick.
You gotta do that thing with your eyes where you like blur them while you're looking.
Yeah. Like I'm looking at those old 3D pictures that people are saying in their house.
Just do it like this.
Let's bump. Let's go to head. I'm just punch people. Even though I don't, I probably.
You're such a nice guy.
I bet if I hit
in
somebody,
real
it
life.
just wouldn't even hurt because my shoulders are weak and stuff like that. And I'd spend so much
That's
time
the calcium.
I'd spend so much time thinking about it that
Let
I
me
just kind of
stretch and warm
screw it
up.
up. It's like when people watch you, if you're walking down the aisle, like when I got married, I knew I was walking all stupid because people were watching me and I forgot how to walk. So the moment you go to swing at somebody, I'd be like Bernardino in that picture where he's just like, just hand back. It's like going,
Found
God,
a
you
great profession.
punch like a cyclist.
Since people are always watching your profession, like stage.
Oh, no, I direct.
I guess that's true.
Not on stage. We are jumping ahead to the classics, and in terms of the classics, I know the Ardennes is fun but with Flanders and Roubaix bookending this week, the tradition, the spectacle, the glory couldn't be higher. And I don't know if you guys know, but we do have somebody in our midst who's been to these races. Yeah. Paul Main has been to Belgium.
Yeah. Have I told you guys that?
Wow.
First time hearing of it.
Oh, wow.
No.
That's where those. That's where those came from. And so we're bumping changing times up a little bit with our Holy Week preview. So I have a bunch of questions, but I just kind of wanted to let you, as somebody who's been there, talk to us about the events themselves. And I'm sure you'd have a little on tradition and things like that, but and also the differences between the two, because I know first of all there's a country between the two technically, but and the cultures and the way the races are done and the types of riders. Just give us an overview of your experience on those two.
Well, just to briefly, my first Paris-Roubaix that I watched was in 2013, and then I watched it again on 18. I missed Flanders in 2013 by one day. It just scheduled from work and everything that I wasn't able to make it. So, so I saw Flanders for the first time in 18, and then Roubaix the following week. Going back next year too, to do that.
I'm going with you.
Good.
Yeah.
So, anyway, the thing is, when I saw Roubaix, that's the bike race that got me involved, and I think more Americans know Paris-Roubaix before Tour of Flanders, a Ronde van Vlaanderen.
Yeah.
And so
We were going to make David say that tonight.
So, but the funny thing is in 2018 when Dismount Dave and I flew in and we picked up our rental car, and the guy was making small talk as he's typing in my name and stuff, and he says, "Are you guys, here to visit? What are you guys here
Typing your
for?"
name in, like to Interpol.
Yeah, I'm sure Interpol's looking at me, and so he's like, "What are you here for?" And we told him we're here to watch Flanders. The guy just lit up. This is in the Brussels airport. And he's like, he's going off, and he's like saying, this team's strong this year. I'm like, holy cow! But going back previously in 2013, we flew and took a train into Bruges. We stayed in Bruges for 3 days, and then drove to Paris-Roubaix from Bruges into Orchy is where we viewed the race. But picking up the rental car there, and I don't think it's just rental car people too. This lady behind the desk was, after Paris-Roubaix, she had us captivated for about a half hour talking about, the race and stuff like that. In Belgium, especially in Flanders, it is everything. It's their lifeblood. It runs in their blood, and you can feel it. I was pretty excited to go to Gerardsbergen and where the Capelle Muur is, and it was just packed because they've removed that from the Flanders, but they brought it back that particularly, I think, for a couple of years. And 4 hours, we were there 4 hours before the race came, and it was already packed. They always have like fan zones, so anywhere where there's a gathering, where people are gathering, there's big screens and stuff. But Roubaix is a little different. It is more international. It's not just Belgians. It is everybody comes. And I think it's so unique to any bike race. Flanders is definitely, they have, E3, which goes basically over the same hills.
Yeah.
And Omloop and all those. But
and then tomorrow's race.
Yeah. Dorsal Flanders. Yeah.
Mm.
And so that's what I think the difference is. One of the things that I was surprised that 750,000 people line Flanders to watch Flanders.
Shit.
750,000 people are on the road at one time watching the bike race go by.
Those types of numbers. I mean, you think about viewers of the Super Bowl, and then you think about people attending the Super Bowl. It doesn't. The people at the actual Super Bowl, it doesn't compare to the people at Flanders
because they're millionaires.
Yeah,
This is all free.
They're corporate people who have won a ticket because they made the most, real estate sales, or sold the most Ozempic. But it's just unbelievable to imagine more people than who attend the Super Bowl lining a road. And I do have to credit Ruby for showing me these roads and seeing what they really look like when nobody's there. They're shit roads. They're just little tiny goat paths, and especially Roubaix. To think of all the people lining those roads who are just driving out there and walking into a field in the middle of nowhere and just going absolutely berserk. It is such a... I guess that's the beauty of... I mean, the only thing I can compare is like rally racing, rally driving, where you've got people who travel out into middle of nowhere and just stand there waiting for... I'm sure,
going by.
Yeah, and I'm sure the Flanders field or the Roubaix field, maybe at the max with everybody being shredded and dropped, maybe takes 2 minutes to drive by.
Yeah,
to roll by.
When we were at the Flanders, we had the women's field came through first, and then they had the men's field come through.
Yeah,
when we were on the Capelle Muur. So yeah, I mean, but it's a festival. They make it a festival, just like we think about Tulsa Tough and stuff. There's crap going on, and even at the end of the race at the fan zone, bands come out and you get the and people are partying, and it's a big deal.
Oh my God!
I guess I meant to mention the difference between those two in racing is the cobblestones and Paris-Roubaix are almost hard. In the forest, you could twist your ankle walking on it. I'm not joking.
Yeah.
I mean, there's 3 inches difference between stones, and there's like gaps. And in Flanders, when they climb up those, they're more fitted, except the Cap au Mur is really nasty, and that's at 20%, and plus you're going off these bumps.
And the thing about Flanders is it's the distance and then the massive amounts of climbs in the tail end.
Yeah, there's 19 of these bergs that they do. Yeah.
And, all over the world in terms of percentage of gradients. And then you've got Roubaix, which is predominantly flat, but you've got the severity of the roads. You guys were able to go out and watch the people preparing the days before.
So yeah, if you go over there, like Thursday and I think Friday, I don't know when the women might do it Wednesday also. You can actually just go to the sectors, just go there and take pictures, and that's what Dismount and I did. We were in the forest, and it was interesting. You just see different teams come by, and they're going not race speed, but they're going faster than I would.
Yeah.
And Peter Sagan was like 3 feet from me.
Yeah.
And he came by, and they actually, I think
That's
it was
your guy,
Cycling News did
Pretty cool.
a movie on that. Both Flanders, the Holy Week. You can actually look it up. I think I don't know where you can find it now, but I paid for it. But there's a period where you went through the forest, and when he went by, I think I've told this story before. I'm looking, and there's a bike path that some of the guys are avoiding the cobbles for whatever reason. The team was taking the bike path, and there's like
insane.
a 18-inch piece of grass between the cobbles and that bike path, and I'm standing in between taking pictures, and Peter Sagan goes by, and I got a couple of pictures of him and his thigh, and then half of his buttocks, and then
nice.
Yeah, and Daniel Oss was like screaming something on the other side of me, and I didn't know it. But Dismount Dave was on the other side of the cobbles and took a picture. Peter Sagan was like 4 feet behind me. He pulled over because they put an onboard camera that they were shooting for that film. There was a motorcycle cameraman shooting, and they had stopped just behind me. But I was afraid if I turn around, I'm going to knock somebody over.
Somebody.
Yeah, exactly. So Dave's got a picture of me squatting. I'm squatting down, and they're messing with this camera just like 3-4 feet away.
Oh my God!
Unbeknownst. So that was during their recon.
It's recon.
On
yeah,
Thursday.
days before.
Mm-hmm.
Now, would you say that this is a surface that being an accomplished cyclist and riding over that surface in Roubaix, or even the climbs, what type of a effort does it take just to get through them?
I haven't ridden them.
Yeah,
but I could tell you, just 40 years of my experience on different types of surfaces, I don't know if I could tackle. The force is scary because you come flying down in race pace. They're doing over 45 miles an hour and dropping down a slight downhill, and then it starts increasing and climbing. They sprint. There's Mitch Docker had Tom Bonin on his last podcast, and he talks about that. And Bonin says, you are as fast as you can going in that forest.
yeah.
And it doesn't eventually kind of mellows out, but you don't. Somebody goes down, you have nothing. It's just total chaos. You're just closing your eyes, saying, "I hope I don't go down."
Please God.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
And he said that's the worst surface you can ride on. So.
Oh my God! And you've also talked about the accessibility that the Flanders Fields races are more difficult for spectators as opposed to Roubaix, and that just because of course design where it's more spread out.
Yeah, so Flanders had set up one of the promoters altered the course so that there's a lot of loops, a lot of more circuits going through, which you could probably. The best thing to do is find, in my opinion, not that I know really well, but find yourself a hill and kind of anchor down on one of those, the Quaremont, the Patersburg, but it is packed with people. There's people in Paris-Roubaix know all the shortcuts. You can figure it out because you have a map and you can go ahead of the pack and see it several times. I personally have no interest in doing that. When they fly by, it's great to take pictures, but you don't even know what's going on. It's just happening so fast. And in Orchy, which is, I think, Sector 13 this year, That's where I've been the last couple of times. They have a local bike club that gives you. They sell beer, wine, sandwiches, and they have a huge screen so you can watch it.
Home.
And then when it's approaching, everybody runs out and screams their heads off and runs back in, and you can watch the whole race. So
yeah, that's pretty cool. I can only imagine that Arenberg would be if you get there, you're stuck.
You can only watch on one side of that road too.
You're that's it. Yeah. Who, in your opinion, is the best Tour de Flanders champion? The greatest champion?
Tour de Flanders is hard. That one's hard because there's 6 people who have only won 3 times. Probably it would be Magny, Ferenzo Magny.
Oh,
and
okay.
1949, 1950, and 1951, he won 3 in a row, and he was the first Italian to do so, and he wasn't invited back in 52 because the Belgians said no.
Wow.
So he's the famous one that people see in the picture where he's got his tape. He had a broken collarbone.
Oh, yeah.
Bitten his That's him.
Okay, your favorite all-time Roubaix champion, and are you just going to go so old school that you're going to pick
No, I mean, I would have to say the best, but I like Bonin was, I think he was made for that race, and he was fun to watch, and I think he was a great loser in 2016. It would have been his 5th and broke the record over Roger de Vlaeminck.
Yeah.
And if there's any last 10K to watch of recent Roubaix, that's 2016 when Matt Heyman won. That
I
was
was cheering, and Matt Heyman, like coming off of a broken arm.
Yeah,
he had a broken collarbone. Yeah, broken arm, and he actually trained on Zwift.
Yeah.
And
you know what that did for Zwift?
I know.
That was just like, oh, thank you.
I don't have to ride.
He broke his own the same way that I broke mine, and so he won that, and then I was just like, I could do that this year.
There you go.
Yeah.
Why didn't you get on Zwift?
I wasn't anywhere near that good.
Oh.
And he was in the break at 178K to go. He was in the break from the very get-go. He's the only one that survived a break and ended up winning. So
that is such a good one.
That's
a good
16's
one.
the best one to watch.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Kelly won twice.
Yep.
Right? Yeah.
84 and 86.
Yeah. I remember those ones vividly. Struggling to watch them on CBS Sports.
Ivan Mario. Yeah. Anyway,
let's take a look at our lineups. We've got them all in front of us, and David's been frantically. The start of the show, you're adorable. At the start of the show, you were staring at these sheets, you were circling stuff, you were on your phone, you were doing all kinds of stuff, placing bets. So.
Not a lot
as
came from that. Just so you know, you can see very little circling.
There we go. Well, our Roubaix start orders are pretty sparse, so we're gonna have to do a little bit of speculation. Paul might know a little to help us out on those, but let's start with the big one this weekend with Flanders and with the women. First, of course, we get 3 picks. We all get 3 picks. And chances are
women first.
Yes, chances are we're gonna all cross a lot here. We can keep it kind of quick. I can probably go first. I'm gonna go with because I think Hessie Niewiadoma needs to win a lot more races just because I like her. I'm picking her. I'm picking Puck Peters because she is going to be there, and that's going to be really cool. I think it'd be a really changing of the guard moment. And because SD Works is there, I'm not, by the way, did you notice I'm not picking a Lidl Trek rider for this one? I'm picking Demi Vollering. Jackson?
I am picking Demi Vollering, Lotte Kopecky, and Elisa Longoborghini.
Oh, okay. Straight to the point. I like it.
Yeah, I mean,
I talk too much.
How else could you pick him?
Obviously, America, Chloe Dygert, Elizabeth Dagnon, and Demi Vollering.
Lizzie Dagnon being back, I think, is cool.
Yeah, I'm stoked.
Yeah. Paul?
I went Vollering, Kopecky, and Balsamo.
Okay. David, do you want to skip, or do you got...
Yeah,
like
no idea.
Girls? Okay, that's okay.
Chloe.
America.
For the men, I am going to go with I'm going to pick the obviouses, is literally the obviouses, all top 3: Mathieu van der Poel, Wout van Aert, and Mads Pedersen.
Skip, because that's exactly what I picked.
Exactly who you picked. Those guys are flying. Those guys are
yeah.
absolutely flying.
Yeah, you have to pick them, but I'm going to pick somebody different because I also think that in a lot of these races, like things just happen. I think Wout's going to just dominate the next 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Nielsen Powless, though, I'm telling you, he's
You're
American
adorable.
and he's powerful.
Oh,
okay.
bless
Anyway,
your
and then
heart.
Michael Matthews.
Yes,
Right.
I don't know if he's got the climbing legs. in
Yeah, I
him.
think he does. He's
Yeah,
a
I
decent
don't
climber.
know.
He's done well in that race in the past,
Yeah.
so that could be a good pick.
Oh.
Yeah.
I went Wout, always Wout, and I went with Mohoric because he digs in deep and he may get in a break, and then Tim Wellens, who's been doing really well lately.
There we go. David?
Because I watched the last 10K of
Mads
Velgem.
Pedersen.
Mads,
That's not a
Pedersen,
bad
and
one.
Vanderpool, and then also Wout. Because
Dude, great
it's
choices.
Wout.
I
Great
would like
choices.
to change a pick.
Did you? Just because all of us picked those?
Yeah, and so it's boring. I would like to scratch away Mads Pedersen, and I'm going to pick Biniam Girmay.
Oh,
Yeah,
that'd be
yeah.
interesting if he's got the fuel in the tank.
He
to
had a
get
lot more this
he
last
worked
weekend.
in Gent-Wevelgem. He worked hard in
Yeah.
Gent-Wevelgem. Paris-Roubaix.
Women.
Yeah, probably we can argue the biggest single day in the sport of cycling. I'm going with a lot of Lidl Trek. I'm going with Lisa Longoborghini, Elsa Balsamo. And I would love to see Allison Jackson even just kind of come close to what she did last year. I think she is such a cool person. I don't remember seeing her a lot near the front prior, but maybe she's got the taste and she just can bring something. Jackson.
I am going to pick Lotte Kopecky, Elisa Longoborghini, and Lorena Wiebes.
Lotte Kopecky could very well.
Win both.
Yeah.
Chloe Dygert, Elizabeth Dagnon, and Lotte Kopecky.
Kopecky,
Dagnan.
and I have
Dagnan.
again Balsamo. I think she's going well.
Yeah.
And and I might go with the goat. I'd go with Voss if she's.
I didn't
lines
even
up.
think about Mariana Voss. I didn't even think
That'd be
about her.
cool.
And that's
She's been
disrespectful.
close,
That's
but,
just
yeah.
down disrespectful.
there's like 4
Yeah,
people.
I
on
mean,
here
David
on
was
this
Peterson.
list.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Right,
these are small
God.
lists.
Yeah, because they have to announce it by Tuesday
Well,
tomorrow.
what's,
Yeah,
why
next
why
week.
do they get Zwift and the men don't?
because it's
That's who sponsors
their main
it.
sponsor.
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
It's all done online. They just race it digitally. For the man on Paris-Roubaix, I'm going to pick 2 for sure, Mads Pedersen and Mathieu van der Poel. I really, and I have a soft spot in my heart for John Degenkolb. Last year he got hosed. He got hosed, and I want him to have one more day in the sunshine, or in this case in the
Matthew
mud.
took him out on purpose.
Yep, he did. It was out of spite.
Bastard.
Yeah. Jackson.
I'm going to pick Mathieu van der Poel, Wout van Aert, and Tim Merlier. He did win a sprint on the cobbles not 2 weeks ago. So
Yep.
Wow, will win. And then I'm also Mads Pedersen and Tim Wellens.
Those are good choices.
Tim Wellens is riding really well.
He is. Paul.
Wout for the win. That's it.
That's it?
No,
He-
I have Lampard. He was close. He was close at one time with, and then he got bumped by a spectator. And then I have Mohoric because he's always a wild card.
It's
you know?
really hard to vote because like Team Visma has so many good riders for the 2 that it's just like, but Wout's their number 1 guy.
Yeah.
But I mean, I want to vote Matteo, obviously. But I mean, like Tiege Benoot, he would be a great hitter.
Yeah.
Like there's so many good guys on those teams, but it's like, well, that they're going to work as hard as they can to get Wout there. So you got to vote Wout.
Yeah.
I think Christophe Laporte this year has fallen a little flat with that.
He's sick.
Yeah, it shows.
Yeah,
a
It's
lot.
been hitting the
He's been
team.
sick.
The
Yeah.
team's
The whole
been
team.
getting hit by that.
But he's just not been performing at the same
No.
level he did last year.
Yeah.
It's the European bands.
Yeah.
Mateo.
That'd be pretty cool. He was riding really well in E3.
Yeah, he was.
He
Very
was just
good.
going after everything.
Yeah.
Good to see.
And it looked like Wout in E3 was just kind of coming out of that training camp mode where he's like, I haven't had the speed work yet, and
Yeah.
I think he can be.
You have to put in consideration he crashed before the steepest part
Yeah.
of the Paterberg,
Yeah.
and it took a while. He
Yeah.
was dead last
Yeah.
in that, and then he passed everybody
Yeah.
on his own. He just ran out of gas.
Yeah.
But I think I think he made his position going into the Petersburg was wrong, but he should have been up front more. And then he even said that was his error on the crash himself. So,
David, we didn't get your picks.
They're the same as before. Van Aert,
Dude, those are good
Vanderpool,
picks.
and Pedersen.
Those
Nice.
are very good picks. Very good picks. How are you guys planning to watch?
early.
You're going to
Are
be
we
at
going
I'll
a
be at a bike
Fondo.
race. Yeah. I don't know. You guys.
What
Can,
an idiot!
Oh, I guess I'll be there too. I was gonna say, aren't we coming here?
You
I
doing it, Tim?
will. It will be a race.
You going with your brother? You racing?
Oh yeah, I gotta drive it.
riding.
Okay.
Yeah,
Right.
It's
It's
a
a
race. Come on. Grand
You're making
Fondo.
a race,
Fondo.
but
Oh, I will
Grand
make
race.
it a race.
So
If
you guys
David
are all
and I line up, it's a
replays. You
race.
guys are replays. Don't look at your phones.
Well, that's a bummer.
Yeah.
I was looking forward to
Well,
this.
I was going to do
mean,
it.
we'll just
I was
watch it
going to
on
do
the-
that ride, but
We'll just watch it on the way home.
how early are Jackson? Are you coming?
I no, because I did last year and it was over by the time that I had got here. So I was like, what's the point?
yeah.
So you're not going to
Yeah.
work your way out. Paul, how early are we getting up?
I calculated what Ehrenberg Forest is like 100K, and that's when it really opens up. I think that's 5:30 our time.
Okay.
And
Bar will be open at
dismount
5.
for sure. And CP said he might make it.
See, this is the last day of my spring break. I love you guys, but I am not doing that.
But I love you guys, but not that much.
I'm having heart surgery the next day.
Okay,
It could be my
heart
last
surgery.
day in the
Oh
earth.
my!
Whoa, whoa,
oh
whoa.
And you
my.
won't come see your father.
Let's really clarify.
I could be dead the next day.
You've already had this done once.
Also, surgery's all
That's
that
pretty
generous.
dramatic.
Yeah.
They're puncturing my body to work on my heart.
Oh,
I'd call it a procedure.
I'm not even
Yeah.
here
David's
for
like,
Roubaix.
it's outpatient.
Yeah.
It's basically a fucking drive-through. Man.
Yeah,
It is
yeah.
just like going, hey, fix your heart. See you tomorrow.
You
Yep.
wake up to hearing next.
Yeah.
So we can watch it. I can watch it in the car while you drive me to the race, right?
This is
There you
true.
go.
Minute.
This is true.
Absolutely.
All right, we need to get something clear here before we start driving. Who is driving?
Of course you're driving.
So
He
technically,
fall asleep in the wheel.
Yeah, I
anyway.
know, right?
we could just run through this. I don't need the big screen in the other room,
Yeah.
the projector. If
Well,
it's just four
You
of
know,
us.
there was a guy named Terry Preem.
Is Terry coming?
Terry,
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, good.
I don't know if Terry's going to make it. Yeah. Drop us a note
Yeah.
if you want to come watch
Who
it.
else? We had
That
a
sounds
couple other
weird, but-
people last year too.
Yeah, we did. Well, Jack brought.
Broadhead. Yeah, he's not
That
going to
was
make it.
fun last year. I really wish that it wasn't on a Freda.
That was why
no.
I.
I'm not
Freda
gonna-
made a mistake.
Yeah, Freddie
No,
fucked up.
I
First,
get it,
foremost. Yeah.
but also like I'm not gonna miss out on going to ride my bike to watch a bike.
That one, definitely. That's the only bike I could.
So
I
like
would
I'm just
ride.
curious if it was this last weekend or for Flanders, right? Like, would you go race?
On Flanders, no. Those two races, no, I would.
So there's
race.
two.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But not
those
Ghent.
two mainly.
Holy week!
Ghent,
Have
I
you
would,
not been
oh,
listening?
Ghent, I would.
Yeah.
I would do
Okay.
it.
Ghent, I would
Okay.
race. Yeah.
And I'd do it anytime during the tour. Not a problem.
Yeah.
And I've done it in the past.
Yeah.
Who cares?
Let's get to our other segments for tonight. Supported by our friends at Camelback. They started with hydration packs, and now they offer that and so much more. Bottles, packs, everyday tumblers, and insulated bottles put the others to shame. Check them out at Pack Filler. Our first one tonight is going to be a fit tip with Bike Fit Sam. From courtesy of are the people, are there people? It's just the people, the person at Ambassador Cycling.
Yeah.
This is you own this.
It's me, but we have a new employee that is a biker as well, and getting him trained up on all the fits, so he'll be joining me with bike fits.
Hot damn. That's cool.
Yeah.
Tonight's it came up a lot of discussion about saddles coming up tonight. Jackson was talking about the fact that finding the right saddle for the right person, it is not just about what comes with the bike. I remember the one that came with my Giant was the equivalent of sitting on a skinny end of a baseball bat.
Oh, fence post.
Yeah. And many just go with the ones like that, which we all know can lead to issues. So talk to me about proper saddle choices and how to find them, as well as once you have a proper one, the question was talking about center of gravity and bike handling that can be affected by your saddle placement and saddle choice.
What a question. All right, so I have had
How much time do
multiple
we have?
times. Yeah, multiple times this last week. I've had lots of people coming in for saddle discomfort, And, they're like, oh, yeah, I went and I got this. I bought this saddle off the shelf from Bike Shop. And I'm like, great. Did they size you? No. They just said this has the most gel. And I'm like, okay, back up. Oh, so I have a tool.
Remember the sexy saddle that came out, Paul, a while ago? There was something it had vibrating on it.
Thing in the back
made you happy while you rode down the road.
God.
That was gross. Anyway, sorry, I digress.
So this is a retool, a bike fitting company, and it's pressure maps. So you'll sit on this. My iPad will show the pressure points for your sit bones, and then that measures it, and it shows us your sit bone width. That then translates to a saddle, right? We sized both of you guys. Would not expect skinnier, wider, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I have a skinnier. So you're saying one part of my body is skinnier than my son's?
Yeah, one.
That was pretty quick on that.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm just going to bathe in that for a second.
Waistline. So, anyway. God, I don't know. I'm in a mood to roast you.
Yeah, no, I love it.
That's the best.
Somebody's got to.
Yeah. I know. You thought I was being too nice to you the other day. It was great.
Yeah, you got to bring it, bitch.
Yeah. Back to the question, though. So you find the saddle with that, and then after we have decided the correct saddle width, the 4.5 comes into play. And I recently did a fit on a local friend of the group, and he was having speed wobbles as he was going downhill. And I'm like, man, that's weird. Like, you think your frame's cracked? And it's like, no, it's not. There's no weird clicking or anything going on with this. And the bike came from you, I think, originally.
It was R5. It was my...
Yeah. And
I sold it to him.
Well-maintained, cool bike. So anyway.
Paul's like
he's like, little do you know.
Sucker.
Cracked.
Yeah.
Anyway. The bike brought it in, and he has weighted so far back on the bike. The saddle's moved so far aft that he is basically weighted over the rear tires. So there's no weight in the front end. So when he starts hitting upper speeds of 40 going downhill, you start to get that chatter in the front end, which is super unnerving, right?
Scary shit.
So that's where we do the plumb bob of knee over pedal spindle. Right, which is that 3 o'clock position we've talked about in the past, but that weights you on the bike where you should be in the middle of your bike. So that is the really important after we get your seat size.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, like Jackson, you've been comfortable on that saddle that you've had for a while, but you said that over the last couple of years or something like that, things have shifted where...
Yeah. So Sam and I are going to meet this Friday. I did purchase the new saddle that was suggested for me, and I'm really interested to see what if there is a reason, if we can even find that, why I have found some sort of discomfort recently. I don't know if it's weight training or how my body is just maybe a little bit different this year than it was last year. Now I'm finding not to be too specific about it, but saddle sore issues.
Yeah.
So I'm interested to see what that is.
Do you associate it with more time on the bike? Has there been a dramatic jump in saddle time?
I have. I think I've spent more time in this saddle, but I'm also, I think, utilizing a different part of the saddle a lot more now when it comes to those hard efforts.
More on the front of the saddle.
It does feel that way. Yeah.
And that would be my other question is because I think for you in particular, to jump over to your case, is you've been riding not only just more in general, but also more frequently, right? Whereas beforehand, it's you'd ride maybe on Monday, but then you'd have Tuesday, Wednesday, after you ride Thursday, right? And so it's it can mask it a lot more as opposed to the day after day after day. You've been a lot more consistent, so you're not having that time to recover from, the saddle. That's just my guess.
Even if you don't crash, is there a fatigue life in a saddle?
Yeah, I mean, they will break down over a few years. It really depends on the type of saddle, because some of the saddles, like the Brooks saddles, just get better with time, right?
Yeah.
Whereas a few of the other ones, if they have a lot of padding in them, the ones that we have, gosh, I'd expect to get 10, 15 years out of them, quite a while.
I think Brooks saddles. I think riders die before their saddles die.
I think so. When you're I mean, they have bolts to tension them and everything. It's insane how adjustable those things are.
Yeah. Brooks saddles riders are a weird breed.
It's a different breed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
well, I suffered for 18 years, and now it's perfect. Now
Fits like a glove.
yeah.
My testicles fell off,
Yeah.
but
My chamois cream slowly broke it in.
Yeah.
My wife could leave me, but she ain't taking my saddle. My badge of honor. God damn it.
Have you guys ever hopped on somebody else's Brook saddle?
Never.
No.
It's unnerving.
There
Yeah.
are certain things I won't share, and many times my bike is one of the things I won't share.
I hopped on somebody's bike for one reason or another. They had a Brook saddle, and I was like, "This is the weirdest thing I've ever
Really?
sat on in my life."
Yeah.
You wouldn't share your bike with me?
I don't know. Yeah.
Okay.
You guys, because you're accomplished riders, and I know you treat it with respect.
Yeah, okay.
And it'll probably come back cleaner than it is.
Yeah.
Um,
So that's the biggest thing is like, no, that's like somebody's
it's,
gonna,
it's disrespect.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
the
I
fact,
get that.
It's like, yeah.
they're gonna lean it up against something and scratch your bike.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or even just lay it down on the grass on the derailleur.
Yeah.
Dumbass, right? Let's move on. Ask Dr. David tonight. Oh, I keep forgetting.
the bump.
Bastard has his own bump. Where is it, guys?
Boom, boom.
I can't wait to see Pat in like 10 years doing this.
Well, I'm still.
It's like every year you do like one
just-
more degree, and then you get trifocals.
I have trifocals.
I just have a hinged head that just goes. I look like Sam Elliott in Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, where it's just like, what? And another head comes out of my throat. Oh my God! With all these high carb options flooding the market, David, this is one that came out, and I have to admit I'm kind of the source of this question tonight. These longer fueling type of products that are coming out that are allowing us to gain these massive carbs by just simply drinking. However, some fuels are taking the riders, well, to the toilet with some gastrointestinal issues. And I noticed that, and the one I just recently was reading about was the amount of maltodextrin put into their product. Scratch has they call it a term that I can't remember, like a combidextrin or something like that. I'd have to look up the word in order to see what it is. But maltodextrin being a regular ingredient, which some are saying could be the culprit. So what are your thoughts on this, and how do we know if it's going to take us to Browntown and ruin our brand new saddles?
Yeah. Well, did it take you to Browntown?
No, I haven't. No.
That's why he's asking the question.
I mean,
he
he
wanna
doesn't
know
want a
more.
friend.
I'm about to
He
do
doesn't
a-
want a
Did
turtle
your
head
friend-
hitting the chamois.
I'm about to. It's touching cotton. I'm about to do a full week of long rides, and I need something to fuel me, and I don't want to take the Browns to the Super Bowl.
Amen.
In your chamois.
Yeah.
Maltodextrin is like a very highly processed carbohydrate that is frequently added to non-sports supplement like high carb mixes because it somewhat bypasses regulations on what is considered a carbohydrate. And so like people can add that to foods as a sweetener without and then it'll look like a low carb food, but it's actually not, because maltodextrin certain types of maltodextrin will break down and actually have a huge carb release, which is then why people like Scratch or nutrition companies are using it, is because it's a different type of carbohydrate to put in the drink. I will say that as a caveat, I don't think that anything super highly processed is going to be good for you. I mean, this is one of the reasons that personally I really do like those untapped gels, because it's natural sugar that you're getting. But when you're at super high intensity exercise, you need to utilize different sugar transporters in your gut, so you can transport different types of sugar at different parts in the gut. And so I think what they're trying to get at with maltodextrin is maximizing the ability to transfer carbohydrates at all of the different receptors. The problem is that not everybody can break it down. Different types of it actually don't break down until they get to your rectum.
Wow.
Or your
Rectum?
Yep.
Could have killed him.
Could have killed them, yep. Or your colon, and then they just ferment and they cause basically like an osmotic diarrhea.
Holy
I think it's probably cheap to make maltodextrin, and it's a filler product for most other scenarios. I would personally be looking for something more
Natural.
more natural, less processed, eating your carbs more frequently rather than it sounds like the goal of maltodextrin is to like have a sustained release carbohydrate.
Yeah.
Which just isn't. It's not necessarily natural in this form. You can do complex carbs. Like if
What if you're a simple person? Should you have complex carbs?
This is the question, the age-old question.
Yeah.
Scratch is not maltodextrin. It's called cluster dextrin, highly branched cyclic dextrin. That sounds really cool.
Highly
Nice.
branched cyclic.
I
Off
just
the top of my
remember
head,
when they
don't
were.
know what that is.
Yeah, I know when they were like, they had a video on it, and they were just like, "We have discovered, long chain amino acid."
All they're doing is trying to pack.
Super complex card, highly soluble and digest steadily like real food.
So that's what they're getting at. Is they're trying to put something in there that will break down slowly.
Yeah,
Like if you have a whole wheat piece of toast versus white toast, the idea is that the whole wheat is a more complex carb that will break down slower, and so they're trying to mimic you eating something, but also trying to take into account the fact that you don't typically eat a sandwich on your ride.
Okay.
So,
Eddie B made you pork sandwiches.
but I think
Eddie V never made me anything
That's what they suggested.
except scalding hot tea in a plastic bottle, which I guarantee had BPA.
Yeah.
I think if you could tolerate this stuff, fine. But also, like, maybe just focus on eating a few more solid things throughout your meal or throughout your bike ride, and some liquid carbs as well. Let your body do what it's supposed to do instead of.
I have a really hard time. Like, I mean,
Just
we
killed
went
an
through this,
entire
but
industry of fueling options.
I rely on this stuff for longer rides. I cannot do
Is
food.
that the super
Yeah, that's the
fuel?
super fuel.
Yeah.
That stuff never sat right with me.
I know,
Like
David
it worked
didn't-
on the rides, but I would feel disgusting afterwards.
Yeah.
That's
It just
that's
locked
where-
you up.
interesting.
And
That's-
Jackson, you like it.
I feel like a hero
Yep.
at the end of rides because of it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's like I'm not even hungry at the end of the ride because it's like it's still slowly burning,
Yeah.
right? But it's like the whole ride I can have one. I would be curious if you try this. Like, I can't have 2 back-to-back bottles. It has to be like 1 bottle of that, 1
Easy.
bottle of water.
I can do 2 back to back, and
Wow.
and all
And
my
the
gels
next
on
day,
top of it.
None
Wow.
of you were big fans of Trotsky, if you know what I'm saying.
What?
What's that?
Yeah, taking the Browns to the
none
Super
of you
Bowl.
feel like
Oh.
you've
Yeah.
been to Taco Bell.
Yes,
I feel-
I do. That's what I'm
David,
saying.
yeah,
I'm
David got wrecked.
That's what I'm saying. But I want
Well,
to.
he also can't drink stout. He's a little
Yeah, he
pristine
is.
little.
That's
cutie
true. It's a
doll.
brewer's yeast.
have an allergy. But I think that it's worth stating that there is no dietary guidance that's perfect for everybody.
Yeah,
Exactly.
That's
yeah,
just
yeah,
we're all
yeah.
different, and if it works for
Listen
you,
to your body.
fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, but if it doesn't, then don't push it. Like it's not necessarily because it's good for some people doesn't mean it's good for you.
Okay.
So
I can't handle that stuff very well. I haven't tried this, to be fair, but all that carb stuff does not work for me, and I don't do well with high sugars. But making those rice bars,
Yeah.
Scratch,
Brilliant.
unbelievable.
Yeah.
That stuff works
Those
great, and they're
recipes.
tasty.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
I
The
did.
bacon ones.
I
Yeah.
did
Oh
great.
God. I just do mine with
bacon and
with
Bacon eggs,
with
yeah.
peanut
Bacon
butter
and eggs.
and fresh berries.
No,
Blueberries.
do bacon and eggs.
I do chocolate chips and blueberry.
Yeah.
I did great on our cross country or cross state ride with white bread and tofurkey. Man, that like
Oh yeah, that hit. But also we had those.
All
the
right,
rice-
your entire you've lost all respect when you say tofurkey.
white bread and tofurkey, Wonder
oh
Bread
my God.
specifically.
Let's keep moving on because that's just an abomination, a sin during Holy Week. Style points coming up with the one and only Jackson Bulger. By the way, one of my goals during this next week is to develop theme music for each and every one of you.
Ooh.
Yeah, so I'm gonna get. It might be like a 3 to 4 second. Don't think you're gonna get.
David's.
Yeah.
Something so.
We'll see what we can do. Jackson, what you got for this week?
Well, I love to shop. My birthday's coming up in a month and a day, and I love to shop on my birthday.
Wink,
yeah.
wink.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
If you all don't get me stuff, I'm gonna make your life hell. Anyways, that's not true.
This
That's
is
not
just my
true.
birthday list.
Yeah. No, I was gonna.
It's like the spoiled rich kid in Harry Potter. Last year I got 37.
Freaking Dudley.
Yeah.
Dudley. Dudders. Yeah.
You just got me on another thought with that
Yeah,
whole
sorry about
Dudley
that.
thing. No, it's okay. This note that I have is you can all see it. It's called Bye Bye Bye. So
Ain't no lie.
Nope. I want to start asking you guys, do you stick to a specific brand or do you kind of like to shift around? Does it matter?
Ooh, depends on the brand. It depends on what we're talking about.
Okay. Well, I'm literally going to have you guys dress yourselves.
Oh,
So-
I flip-flopped helmets. I'm back with Giro now. Yeah. I went POC. Now
Well,
I'm
I
back
know-
with Giro.
You used to
Sam.
be die hard, but I mean, like Castelli works for me for
Yeah.
clothing, but I've also pearls in me other stuff.
Okay. Paul, do you have a brand you are hard on? That's a
Ace.
rough way to say that.
Well, yeah, there is some brands I get hard-ons for, but I can't afford them.
Yep.
But no, I do in all aspects. If it works for me and it performs or
Yeah.
lasts, then I'm sold. I don't have to look elsewhere.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. David?
Yeah, across life, I definitely have like in every realm, like clothing, tools, buy all that. Like there's things that if it works, I'm gonna go back.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I'm early on in this, so I'm kind of trying to figure it out. I mean, even with tires recently, I've switched, which
Yeah.
is something way different.
Yeah.
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 So it's just I'm cool with switching around. Giro's kind of been my shoe for I would say a bit now. I've got
It's a beautiful
the mountain
shoe.
shoes.
It
I've got
is
the
a
road shoes.
beautiful
They're
shoe.
excellent.
And if you find like the shoe, like a contact point come from a fitter in a helmet, like those two things,
Mhm.
I can't stray. I've been on Specialized forever, and everything else I used to write all Specialized, but now I'm like, oh, other companies make really good this or that, but
Yeah,
man, like if you find what works for you with those two contact points,
stick with it.
stick with it.
Yeah.
I'll be editing that out of the show.
So speaking of shoes, I'm gonna have you guys dress yourself from the feet up. I do kind of have a weird way of doing it, but
We got to rapid fire it though.
yes. Shoes, Sam.
Specialized.
CD.
CD.
Specialized.
Giro.
Giro as well. Socks, Sam.
Oh God.
Pearl Zimmy.
No preference there.
Yeah.
Honestly, defeat.
Yeah,
Good
yeah.
socks.
Good call.
They've
Good call.
They've got good socks. Yeah.
I
would
love
lean
the
that
hell
way.
out of our panache socks, but I have no preference.
So many holes.
I really do like a performance smart wool sock during the winter time.
yeah,
It
yeah.
keeps it dry. Or
Defeat. It makes
yes.
those.
Anyways,
very good.
Scratch had some wool socks. That
they
were out
still
for a
make
while
some
there,
wool
too. They were
ones
good
that are
ones.
gray, but they're thinner. I like those a lot too. Bibs, so shorts.
Castelli.
Assos.
Castelli.
No preference.
You know, I'm trying to figure it out here recently too, because I like that the shorts are getting longer, and so if I can find a short that's a little bit longer, I prefer that. Do you guys wear undershirts
Mm-hmm.
in every ride?
I have sensitive
If I had, like,
You do?
sometimes they're dirty, and I'm like,
Yeah.
it's fine.
Yeah,
But yeah, otherwise,
nice. Paul,
Just recently, I started getting.
every single one, every ride.
No. If it's hot, no.
Interesting. Okay.
When it's cold.
Yeah.
I have several of them because there are some shorts that I have sensitive nipples
For sure.
and they will
I've seen
the
them
bibs.
bleed.
my nipples will chafe.
The bibs will hit me right there, and if I get excited, I can cut glass. I cut glass, man. No,
Yeah.
I'm kidding. That's disgusting. But yeah, I do wear them except on the hottest of days.
Yeah, I predominantly in the winter. I'm with David. it's just a nice
It's a great
extra
layer. It's a great
yeah,
layer.
Yeah,
I go sleeveless, of course. But
yeah, I've even seen the sleeved ones, long
Yeah.
sleeves, all those. Jersey brands. Sam.
Castelli.
Assos.
Castelli.
no preference. I ride everything across the border now. And across the border, wow, across the board. Just I'm now the sleeves have to be longer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
because I have very, very broad shoulders, and it's the calcium. If I have if jersey with shorter sleeves, they ride up, and I'm constantly pulling them down. I hate that shit.
Yeah.
It's got to be. I love the new style of kits with longer
Yeah.
sleeves.
You know, I will give a shout out to you, Mr. Pat Bulger. I really do like the pack filler.
Do you?
All of them. They are just long enough for my arms.
Yeah.
So,
Those are nice jerseys.
yeah. Glasses. Do you have a preference? Sam?
Smith, but Oakley has recently
Smith, really?
Smith
know
is
about that.
amazing.
I don't wear
The
'em.
same.
Paul
Yeah,
doesn't wear 'em?
or not Paul. You don't
David?
wear them.
I used to enjoy Smith, but I actually really like Oakley right now.
I'm neutral. I went back to a pair of 100% that I haven't worn
They're
for a long
excellent,
time, and they're kind of cool again.
Yeah, I really liked our time with Gooder.
Oh,
I
they were
am
great
yeah.
glasses and great value. I don't want to bash Gooder at all because they're awesome
Yep.
for
Yeah.
what they offer.
I
I
really-
just want something a little solid.
Yeah, and I'm really hoping a certain somebody that I know is watching right now that also gave wedding vows on the same day I did. Maybe got me something for my birthday. Just a little shout out, which might come from Oakley.
Yeah.
Which might
That's
be
a
an
joke.
ugly.
Yeah, that's a joke for her. Do you guys wear helmets first? We'll do helmets.
Specialized.
Giro.
Specialized.
I'd go between Giro and Pac, and I'm back to Giro now, but I still have my
He's just
Pacs on the wall back
copying me
there.
the whole time.
I had defeat socks. Okay.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah.
I'm Pac guy after
You are
smacking my head against the ground.
Yep.
It won't change.
I love those helmets. They're great helmets.
And really
Yeah.
comfortable. Do you guys all wear gloves?
Yeah.
Not
Only
enough.
Depends.
only in crazy crits.
Okay. David, you said yes all the time?
Yeah.
Nice.
Well, no. For like cold weather or for crits, I'll wear the half-fingered ones.
Mhm.
okay.
I need a full Lycra back glove.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want a strap or anything.
No.
Yeah, I'm the same way. I will wear gloves all the time. My hands just get hurt too much.
Yeah.
But anyways, all in all, thank you guys for answering my questions. It's just interesting to hear what everybody's preference is because this is one of those things where nobody has the same preference.
Yep.
No.
Whatever
Yeah.
works for you.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
exactly. And that kind of backs off of the whole saddle thing. So
Yep.
Helmets and saddles, like you're saying, everybody's got a different size ass and a different size head.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes their heads are up their ass. Hey, hello!
Hello,
Yes! I am not
Samuel.
going to... actually, I'm going to provide a super quick outro tonight. Okay? Super quick outro. And it's a segment I was going to start with my segment. I was going to give myself one, but you guys take up all the time. I don't know if you guys read recently in Road CC, a guy... and this was shared to us by our friend Noah on the Pack Filler Facebook group. A story about a cyclist in England that claims after suffering a mechanical on his Pinarello, he was forced to ride the second 100K of a 200K ride using a Science and Sport water bottle for his saddle.
he wanted to.
My question is, your opinion, and does this guy not have friends or family and a cell phone? Jackson, you get to go first.
I think that that's voluntary. You don't just go, damn, I can't ride this now. No, he wanted the water bottle there.
Yeah. Sam, he's too
He's
struck.
still, yeah.
He's frozen.
He's
We've lost Sam.
catatonic.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
There has to be a bike shop within that range.
Or call somebody, right?
Yeah.
Paul?
An Uber.
No.
No.
It's unnecessary. And I saw a guy early in a race hit a pothole and it popped it's just the railings.
Yeah.
And the seat came off. He used an old, because it was early spring, he used a thick winter glove. I would have quit the race. There's no way.
Yeah,
I'm
call
done.
home.
It's not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not worth it.
Absolutely.
This guy did it for the
he
press.
did it
Yeah.
to himself.
All right, there we go. Like, subscribe. Thank you guys for listening. Thank you guys for all being here.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We will not be here for next week for the show, so you two go fast in the Fondo. And Paul, I'll see you bright and early on Roubaix. And Jackson, you suck.
Well, I am your son.
That's your son.
Thanks, man. Love you guys. See you later. Oh, I gotta wait for 14 more seconds.
I did not.
You did.
Do you have to pee, Pat?
No, I'm dancing.
Oh, okay.
I do a little.